and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. I am so excited to be joining you today with something a little different, very exciting, and super fun. I have been invited to be the guest designer for July over at the ScrapRoom. I want to start out by saying a big thank you to Rochelle and the team for this opportunity because I'm truly honored and grateful to be playing along. When Rochelle invited me, I was an immediate yes. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm beyond thrilled to play along in July. We're going to have some good old scrappy fun together. So if you're new to the ScrapRoom, let me give you the scoop. Their Flavor of the Month kit is such a neat concept because it includes 4 mini page kits. And each one is a little sampler of a new paper collection and its embellishments. And so this is perfect, especially if you love variety or you want to try out some new lines without, committing to the whole shebang. So I'll be working with the July Flavor of the Month kit and the embellishment add-on kit. And y'all, it's a good one. Each kit also comes with creative inspiration to help get you scrapping. You get a sketch, you get a Freaky Fast Friday formula challenge, and you get a cut file. And this month's cut file is the cutest little camera with a title that says Go See Do, which is perfect for summer travels or everyday adventures. And keep your eyes peeled because it's going to make an appearance. And if you're visiting my channel from the ScrapRoom community, welcome. I'd love for you to subscribe here on YouTube so we can scrapbook together. And you can also find me on Instagram at Scrap with Penny for even more layouts, behind the scenes, and storytelling inspiration. So for today's video, I'm going to be starting off with the Simple Stories Happy Travels mini kit. But before I start cutting and gluing, I'm going to walk you through what's included in the whole kit and this part of the kit. So grab a cup of something cozy, maybe even that vanilla hazelnut coffee like the one Rochelle featured in this month's kit. And let's dive into this first layout together. So this is how the kits come. They're individually wrapped in this little plastic bag, so you don't have any doubt about, what goes with what. And we've got Echo Park Firefly here, and it's got the sticker sheet, and it's got more papers inside. And then you've got Paige Evans Happy Haven, which has some embellishments, a sticker sheet, some paper. And then the third kit is the Vicky Booten Cut and Paste. Look at that beautiful navy. And there's little die cuts and a sticker sheet here. And then here is where I chose to make my debut. I mean, if you have scrapped with me before, you know that I love simple stories. So my box arrived 2 days before the tracking said it would. And I got that thing and I ripped it open because I didn't know, until it arrived what I was getting. And this was just like, the cat's meow. So here's what's included in the little Simple Stories Happy Travel mini kit. You've got an assortment of these die cuts. And these packs are divided among multiple subscribers. So your contents may vary. But they're all fun to work with. And then I've got 2 pieces of this beautiful sapphire cardstock. And you know that I love, love, love colored cardstock. Then I've got this Sunburst. And, it's so pretty. And the B side are these little geotags with hearts and stars in the middle. And then, postage stamps seem to be all the rage. And this is such a fun print. Then on the back, there's this aqua. It's kind of like, where are we going? Are we lost? It's a bunch of arrows. It's cute. Then my last piece of paper is this pink notebook paper. I'm a former accountant, so I love all of my stationery stuff. And then look at this cute floral on the back. So it was just, immediately I knew where I was going to start because, low-hanging fruit, Simple Stories, Happy Travels. And then also included in this kit is this beautiful 12 by 12 cardstock sticker sheet. So you've got all of these embellishments, and even on the brads, you get a little sampling of the brads, and I know where this is going. I'm so excited to play along. So let me just dive in and tell you what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to be able to do a double page spread. And one of my designs that I love when I'm doing travel especially is to do a heavy lift feature page on the left, and then to come in and do a supporting page on the right that maybe is not, it's a little more simple, not quite as simple as a pocket page, but I let one side of the page do all of the heavy lifting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gut this pink notebook paper so I can have access to what's behind it. And I'm going to trim this down, and I'm going to trim the bottom a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to trim the top a 1/4 inch. And we're going to see those measurements later over here on this side. And then I'm going to come in here and cut out some of this. And then these little guys are gonna be important when we're working over here. So let me, I just wanna say one more thing. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pop this sapphire behind here. So you're gonna be looking at something like that. And I mean, how can you go wrong? So let me cut and I'll be right back. We're doing this. I'm sure you're familiar with gutting, but I just kind of like to go over some basics. So I brought, well, here's my sunburst that's trimmed down. And so I decided I could have a 1 inch margin on this pink and have enough stability. So I just came in here at the 1 inch mark and, cut up and then rotated. And if you have this trimmer, if you start at the top, then this up here is going to be 1 inch. So I just rotated it around, and I've got a nice scrap that I can use this for, other parts of the project. Then I've got my sunburst, and I said I cut a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, and then I went back and cut another 1/8. So here are my offcuts to help you. I started here first so I could get a 12 inch by 1/4 inch stripe, and we're going to see it like that. And then I've got another one, and then that left me with 12 inches, and I came in and took 3/8 off and 3/8 off. Of course, I did trim another 1/8 here and here. So I'm sorry if that's a little confusing, but I wanted to show you how I could get a 12 inch strip off of this before I trimmed it down. So my sunburst pattern is 11 1/4 squared. And to get my little margin, I want just a little bit less than an 1/8. So I'm going to cut my sapphire down now. I'm going to trim it just shy of 11 1/2. And if y'all are new to me, I'm sorry, I'm math. I was an accountant, and it's just kind of part of my MO. So let me go cut the sapphire down. So this is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to tape it down real quick. So let me bring you up to speed. Because I'm using the cut file over here as kind of a central figure, and I'm going to build around that, I don't, one, have a sketch, and two, I don't know how many pictures I'm going to be able to fit over here. But I realized while I was getting all of this taped down that I had not shown you pictures or even talked about pictures. So I went to my stash and got out a white piece of cardstock. You could certainly use the other piece of blue, but I'm trying to save that because I've got some pretty good remnants from this kit, and I could get a third page out of it. So these photos are 2.75 wide by 3.75 tall, and I'm going to trim them to the line. This photo is 3.75 tall by 5.5 wide, and I think they're going to lay out on the page just like this. So when I started thinking about what I could scrap, anytime I'm doing a trip, for the most part, I'm either doing a title page or I'm doing a double because there's so many pictures. And this is New York City 2018, and I didn't even really have it on my radar that I hadn't scrapped it. So it was a perfect fit for this. And I want to show like some unique things that we did. I really love this picture. And then we went to see Wicked, and that was fun. We ate on Times Square. This is Carmine's. That's kind of a go-to place for us when we go. And I'll tell you something about my son. He is a little bit of a prankster, and he loves to make goofy faces when I take pictures. So toward that end, when I saw this picture of him with a really nice natural smile, of course, I'm like, I have got to get that on there. So I have some other pictures from around the city, and this was just a quick weekend trip. They were at culinary school in Poughkeepsie at Hyde Park, and so we flew up to LaGuardia. They rode the train over, and we spent some time together, and that was a lot of fun. And this is obviously the Museum of Modern Art. But I don't know what made me take that photo, but I love the architectural elements in it. So that's why I picked these photos. Then on my, before I peeled it all the way off, I wanted to show you. This is the cut file, this is the little camera, and this is the title. And I think I cut the camera right at 4 inches, just a little bit larger than 4. And then this title is 7 1/4. So this is where we are. And I wanted to say for this cut file, I pulled out from the Paige Evans kit this My Colors by Photoplay White. And it's a nice smooth cardstock. And I just kind of borrowed it from that kit. I'm sure you've got white paper in your stash. I thought about cutting this in the blue, but when it got down to it, because I was doing white over here, I really wanted to marry this side of the page and bring some white in. And my plans are to center this camera right here in the middle, and then that little brad is going to go right there. So you can see why I'm pausing on pictures over here. But I actually think that I can go ahead and take this camera down, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pop it up on foam. It's either that or cut multiples, and I'd rather, I think I'd rather sit here and put foam on the back of this. Plus, I think it would just really let it pop. Oh, and the other thing is, I'm not going to back it with a lot of paper. I have it backed to the degree that I'm going to back it. And you can see that I've got a little bit of that cobalt here. It's from the offcut over here. And then on the pink and the aqua, I made the decision to go to the middle of the pink, thinking that if I use this on another layout, I can cover this with a photo. I thought the center would be better than the exterior because I can hide it better in the center. And then on the aqua, I came in right here. And I haven't talked about the aqua yet. This is what I did earlier on the aqua. I cut right here, and I'm gonna cut this farther apart and use it. So, but to back the camera, I came up here because I felt like See, if I go this route, it'll hide it. Or if I go this route, then all I've got to worry about is this. And that's some good real estate to play with. Here's my camera, and I'm going to put foam on the back now. Here's the back of the camera. So I've got the thicker pieces here, and then I cut along here. On the circle, I alternated. I didn't go solid around. So I tested it, and it's got good support. So I'm going to tape it down. I wanted to tell those of you that are new to me, sometimes my videos are a little long, but it's because I like to talk you through it. And also, it's my hope that you're scrapping along with me. So the nice thing about this is that it's a good little amount to play with. And then it's not, you know, like, what am I going to do with 14 sheets of paper and 100 die cuts or whatever? So I've got everything off, all the backer pieces. I'm not going to lie, it was fiddly, but sometimes fiddly is fun. Yep, I like it. And just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and pop that brad in there so we can be admiring it. I love the brads. Were you hoping that this Simple Stories Happy Travels would be in the kit? I love Simple Stories, so I think I'm going to put this orange one right here. And that gives us a little bling and a little pop. And now I'm going to come over here. We're going to tape this down, get our pictures down, and work on building this side of the page. So I talk, and also I'm kind of slow. So if you're new to me, I hope that you enjoy this. I use acrylic stamping corners for placement and margins. And so I thought rather than do that off camera, I would go ahead and show you. So I've got my Tim Holtz centering ruler lined up. And this is a 5/16 margin. And I'm going to come in right here like this. And this one should be down straight. And then I'm going to build off of that. So my other margins are going to be 3/16. I told you I did math. I'm sorry. But I started using these acrylic stamping corners for card making, and it just kind of hit me one day that I could use them for scrapbooking also. So here I'm gonna kind of bridge the gap right here. So this is my exterior margin, and then I'm going to come down. Okay, that looks good. So my next picture is this statue, and this should be a little easier now because I've got two that are placed down already. So if this is, I apologize if this is too much for you, but it's I think it's going to look nice when it's finished. Let's go with the inside one. Yeah, it's going to be. So when I placed my pictures, I did opposing buildings, like building here, and then people here. That's just to kind of spread out the elements. So I'm just coming right in. That one's set. And then we can go just like this and get our last one. And there. Let's see what it looks like. There, that should be it. I wanted to make some little tag shapes so that I can stack them right here, and then that'll create a little journal box for me. So I just wanted you to see that I had gone back to that white piece of cardstock that I cut this from, and I went to my remnants over here, and I just cut a little 1 inch tall by 2 3/8 wide strip, and I just taped it onto the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is notch my corners and poke a hole in them, and then I'm gonna figure out where they go and tape them down. I have this little We Are tag punch board, and to get an idea for these measurements, I went to a Simple Stories collection that I have, how wide the tags were, and then I just brought a sample of it to this little board, and it basically said to cut it on G. So here they are. And then the next thing I need to do is punch the hole in them. And this little tool, I don't use it a lot, but when I do, it's handy. It's got a little hole punch here, and it's going to give me a center. So I'm going to do that next. Let's see. It's just a little one, but I'm going to use that as a guide on a larger hole punch. So this will just kind of get me my center. And these will end up with some thread in the holes, and it'll be a cute little journal box area, I think. Okay. I'm just going to use this standard hole punch to eyeball it. It doesn't, I don't think it has to be precise because no one's going to be measuring it. I'm going to put the blue flowers in the middle. Probably going to go down like that. And then I'll do some journaling here. I grabbed the sticker, and so what I'm thinking is that it's going to bump up against this. And so this is going to help me figure out where I can put these little tags. And I'm just going to lightly put a pencil mark down and then tape them, and then I can erase the pencil mark. Before I do that, though, I am going to drop this piece of stripe, this little paper on here, and that way it'll set my full margin. I use liquid glue so I can scooch it some. I have been wondering while I've been working if you've got any summer trips planned. And if you do, where are you going? I've also been wondering what you're going to work on when you make your kit. So to be safe and make sure my scallop is going to cover the edge of the tag, I'm bumping this sticker on over to here, and my tag will fit under there like that. I know this picture is the center of my page. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to do my pencil right there. And then this one's going to go right there. And then this one is going to go right there. Okay. So I won't tape this down because I'm going to need to run the crochet thread behind it. I'm still kind of noodling in my mind about my pictures for the left side. And I wonder, I know I'll do little squares, I just don't know how many I'll get. So this is my last little tag. I do my journaling on the computer. I don't know if you do. This son that is the stinker about his pictures is also the one that told me he could not read my handwriting. And so I went to computer journaling a few years back. So he can't You can't complain about it now. Let me just make sure these are pretty level. Okay. So then this will go down here. Off of my sticker sheet, I'm grabbing this guy right here. And it's going to come up here. I think that's going to be so cute. But this is going to tell me where I can cut this sticker. And so I can cut it. I think it'd be safer if I cut it on the orange. Do you like it? I think it's going to be cute. So there we go. That's what we'll be looking at. And I can come up a little bit to let that little orange pop out and give me more tag. So when I journal, what I do is I get my ruler and I go to the most narrow part. So 1.75, and I could go up to 6. And I'm going to write that down because I'm not going to journal just yet, because remember, I don't know what my pictures are over here, but that's just giving me an idea. And let's get these pencil lines erased. I use a kneadable eraser, and it's wonderful because it doesn't leave any residue behind. Going back to my sticker sheet, I'm probably going to use this little suitcase right here, but we'll see because I've got to do some things over here. This side has taken shape, so I'm going to kind of slide it over a little bit. And what we're going to do now is work on this because we need to get our pictures decided on and printed. I'm going to cut this paper down into little postage stamps. I use my little trimmer. I use this little Creative Memories trimmer for little cutting jobs. And this, they came apart real easy. I was worried about the margins, but all is good. So now I'm going to cut this other way and make little stacks of them. I've got them parsed out, and I'm going to stay away from the palm trees, the hot air balloons, and the cactus. But this orange scene actually is New York. So I'm just going to kind of spread them around. And then we can go for a multicolor. I'll take this adventure and I'll come in next to it. And I'll pop these up with foam when it comes down to it. And then I like well, let's go with a color again. Don't want to go with a white background. So we can come in with the yellow. Go right there. And we can go right up there. And then I like the globe, or the world. What would you call that? So this is kind of what I'm thinking. And now I need to see where I can work some photos into it. Oh, also I like the jet in the suitcase. I think what I'm going to do is take this out because I don't really want to journal over here because I'm going to journal on that page over there. So this can come up here, and then I can bring in I'm going to bring in this green one with the cityscape. It can represent Chinatown. I like that there. But because I don't plan on backing this needs to come off. Oh, and I got to get my jet on. I've got two yellows bumping up against one another up here, and that's not going to work. And if I put my jet there, it's flying off the page. So I can move that yellow over. And maybe that would work. And then I can bring this yellow down here. So when I, go to place them down, I'll stagger the angles and they'll all be popped up. I am back and it is a wrap. Let me just take you through the final changes. I added a little foam heart sticker over here, and I found some word stickers for this side: travel buddies, on a journey, and life is a collection of moments. I really liked this one because I felt like it was a little subtitle underneath the go see do. And doesn't that look good? I love the cut file. I will say this was all one element and it had a bow attached, and I just took that off for my design. I've got a foam sticker here, a little geotag, 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 geotag. And that's one reason why I brought the heart in over here. I've got a star, so we've got some repetition going. And then, of course, I did stitch on the sapphire, the pink, and the aqua. And those are the colors I highlighted over here, and those are the colors I highlighted in my camera. And I mean, largely that's due to the papers that we worked with, because we had the pink, the aqua, and I really like it. I think that it is a fun way to document a journey. I wanted to say on my photo sizes that the little ones over here are 2x2s. You could obviously do 2 3x3s here. You could do 1 4x4 up here if you wanted some larger elements, and if you wanted just to do one, feature page. And then over here, 2.75 wide, 5 5/8 wide, and then they're all 3.75 tall. And I just like using the cardstock as a frame because I think it's a clean look, and it's just something a little bit different. So the vellum that I used, this is the pack, and it prints really well. It's off Amazon. I'll put that in the link. And then the last thing I was going to show you is what I have left for my kit. So I've got one whole sheet of cardstock. I've got some good offcuts you could use to layer. I've got this piece of paper. It kind of looks like a face. I've got a good frame here, and this is the aqua on the other side. And then I have a good amount of stickers. So it would be really fun for me to challenge myself to do another project with these kit remnants. So I hope that that you've had fun, and this is going to wrap up my first project using the Simple Stories Happy Travels mini kit from the July flavor of the month. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I approached this layout, and it was really a fun one to create, and hopefully this will be a trick you can use again and again. So this is just the beginning. I've got more projects coming up throughout the month using the rest of the July kit, along with the sketch and the Freaky Fast Friday formula challenge. That's a mouthful. So if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on what's next. You can also find me over on Instagram at Scrap with Penny, where I share extra photos and behind the scenes sneaks and peeks and information in between posting. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, keep telling your stories and happy scrapping. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.